All right, so welcome everyone um, to the broad talk of the Impostor PM. Today we are with Christoph Steinlehner here to talk about how to move from feature requests to business outcomes. And while people is joining, I see you are starting to join. I will quickly introduce what the Impostor PM is all about. Um, so very quickly, the Impostor PM started as a local community in Portugal to talk about our daily challenges. We started in COVID time, so we started online, but very quickly we moved to on-site. Basically, our main initiative is the club. That is an initiative that we run monthly. It's around 15 people, most of them PMs, that talks about their struggles, their challenge, and they support each other. Is what we call peer-to-peer learning. And As I said, is about learning from other problems, but also mentor and teach those that are struggling with those challenges that you already overcame. We also have other initiative that is the Pro Talk. That is what we all are here today. The Pro Talk is online event where we talk with proud experts on very practical topics that everyone can implement on their daily basis. So, just to record, and we are now in the open talk that everyone can join, and then after that, we have a private session that will move to a more hand-on session with breakout rooms where everyone can collaborate, and we'll be using Miro to do several exercises to do the reverse mapping that Christoph is going to present. What next? About the club again. Um, this is all about not three rules that we have is not no sit back, no judgment, no stupid questions. As I said, it is a very safe space where everyone can talk about their struggles and can feel supported. And now we are recruiting more people to join us as a community manager in the several cities that we have so far. We are in Porto, Lisbon, Coimbra, and Braga in Portugal, and Hamburg in Germany. And we are also recruiting people to expand our clubs to other places. And next, today, as I said, we are in our product talk, where we have the pleasure to have here Christoph with us, where we'll be discussing about how to move from feature to outcomes. I struggle that many of us feels, and how to incorporate that into a reality. So this is very aligned, and this is what I loved to talk and to meet Christoph, because we are all about um, practical insights instead of just reading a book that is very complicated to implement in your reality. So, Christoph, I will let you introduce yourself, but very quickly, Christoph is a product coach and consultant in large companies and startups, where he teach and helps product managers and leaders to move beyond feature delivery to create meaningful outcomes, turning product management theory into, as I said, day-to-day habits that bring clarity and alignment in those teams. So that's all from my side. I don't want to steal you more time, Christoph. So please go ahead and everyone here enjoy the talk. So
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Javier, for this nice introduction. And welcome, everybody. I hope there are people. I don't see anybody, but I think there are people in the streams. So super cool. So yeah, I want to talk today about how to get from feature requests, which we all probably know, to outcome conversations, to talking about the stuff people are actually caring about. So if you're anyway like I am, the word feature requests already triggers a little bit. So it's always like, if I hear this word, I'm already like, yeah, tricky. And I had this for years that people always like approach me and be like, can we build that? I have an idea and things like that. I think everybody knows that. So I never met a PM who was not like, oh, I love feature requests and the more the better. And I just want to get told what to build. Because what we're actually looking for is outcomes, right? So that's on one hand, probably what your CEO is asking for. They want to have business results. They want to have like actual customer impact. And at the same time, if we look at every LinkedIn post, every book, every like people like me who talk all day about this stuff, you talk about like, oh yeah, you have to focus on outcome and it's all about the outcome, the feature doesn't matter, and so on and so on. So you know this. But today I want to try to connect these words. So I will talk a little bit about these topics. What's my approach for them? I have a small methodical approach, but it's like easy. It's a hack, a conversation hack, more or less. And then also like in this great format for the people who will stay and will then change to our interactive format, we will also train this a little bit. So because as Javi said, like doing is better than just listening to stuff or just reading about stuff. So yeah, before we head in, a couple more words about me, just really quickly. So I'm Christoph, I'm based in Berlin. You see, I'm working in my kitchen currently because I just moved back to Berlin from Washington, DC. So that's my office currently. And I work as a product coach and consultant. I usually help all kinds of product people and product teams to work more on the stuff that actually has an impact on people. So I truly believe that digital products can change the world to a better place. But also, I love to talk about the business side because without the business side, nobody of us has salaries or anything else. And sometimes that gets forgotten. Feel free to connect on LinkedIn. And I also write about this stuff and a lot of like visual mapping and my methods and my approach and so on Map Club. So if you're interested, subscribe to this format. But enough of me. Let's head in. My theory, my big belief is that feature requests are completely natural. This stakeholder or whoever was like, oh, I have an idea, is just human nature. And I'm so sure about that because if I think about my behavior and the behavior everybody I see around it is like, I run around in my kitchen, I see something is like broken or whatever, I fix it. I have an idea, I have an approach. I don't be like, oh, what's exactly the problem? How can I maybe analyze this? No, I go into solution mode. And I think that's natural. I think really we are hardwired as people that we have like ideas, solution, and whatever. That's why also we have stuff. And it's the same like why we buy stuff. I want to have like a solution. I don't want to like think more of the problem and whatever. And don't get me wrong, I am deeply into we have to explore a problem space, but it's an effort. It's not natural. So I would really say that's completely natural. So I'm saying like, don't fight it. Stop to fight this. Stop to be like, just say no to ideas or be like, oh yeah, we have to stay in the problem space or all these like nice theoretical concepts. I think they don't work. I never saw it that it's like completely working. I worked in environments who were really outcome driven. even there, people have ideas. People come around the corner and be like, oh, I think we could like change it this way. But in this environment also, there is then like, okay, this is the problem and we are open for the solution. I know in many other companies and contexts, this is missing. The piece is missing that we really talk about the problem and we really open this conversation. So my approach is really to open this conversation. And the easiest way is to lean into this. So instead of saying no, instead of going into, oh, please tell me more about like the problem, be like, okay, I love this idea. It's really interesting. Tell me more about who will love this. So go into like which person, your stakeholder, your feature requester, your customer, maybe they're themselves. Maybe it's like an actual customer who is like, oh, I have this problem, it's me. But I think often in a lot of environment, somebody else comes to you who has like somebody in mind. Either it's a person, maybe it's coming from customer support and they just got like this one problem, or it's from sales. There, it could be a group of people, it could be a new segment, it could be a specific customer, or it's like a specific persona you have defined, whatever concepts you're using internally, personas, segments, whatever. Ask about this person. Who do they have in mind? Is it also in a B2B context? Is it the actual customer? Is it a specific user? Who is it? Who has like a benefit of the thing they are proposing? Talk about the actor. I call this the actor. Talk about the actor. Start to understand like who do I have in mind? And if this is clear, if you hear like, oh, that's the person and in this situation, go deeper into this. What do they want to achieve? So they talking about a specific actor, specific, I don't know. Let's take Uber. They talking about the person who wants to get to a place. What do they want to achieve? It's not like, oh, they want to call an Uber. No, they want to go to a place and understand like, okay, what's their outcome? What is the product outcome for this person? And then you can also already start a little bit to discuss the measurement. Maybe. Don't have to, but then you can be like, okay, what behavior change? How would we see that? Are they like doing a specific action in the application? Do they have like a specific outcome in their life? Like how is this connected? Get an idea what they have in their head. Because 90% of time, people have like an idea about that in their head. They're coming to with a feature because for them it's totally obvious what the underlying problem is you're solving. But you don't know that. They come with like, oh, we need a chatbot. And then it's like, okay, who will use this? And in what situation? And what do they get from this chatbot? And then you already can a little bit dissect between, oh, this person thought deeply about that and has like a real case and a real problem, or it's a random idea, which is fine, but then you have a different conversation. So open up the conversation through this. And then you go one step deeper because it's all nice and good. And if we would be like, ask our user, they would be like, yeah, free money would be great. So why are we not going to get them free money? Yeah, because we have a business to run. So yes, the last questions of the four, or of the three questions, sorry, is what will we gain as a business? So we won't give away free stuff without any reason. So we want to discuss the business side. And that's also like what in my experience already differentiates like junior PM for a more senior PM, that they bring up with the stakeholder also the business side of things. And with that, you then already tell the story from like the actor. So who is the person we are talking about, who should gain something, and what are they gaining, the outcome for them. And then what's our business impact? I use like outcome for product outcomes and business impact for what we gain as business. Other people say like outcome for both product outcome and business outcome. Don't get like caught up in the terminology. It's just like how I call it right now. And then the next step is to agree on this model. So you get an output from your stakeholder, the feature request, and then you discuss with them the actor, the outcome, and the business impact. At this level, like you either can actually write that out or map that out, like I show here, but you don't have to. It can be also just like in a conversation. Sometimes it might be a little bit strange if you start to open whatever Miro or do a lot of stickies on the wall. So you can just have this as a conversational framework in the back of your head or make notes while you talk to somebody. The important thing is that you're agreeing on that you understand like, okay, we are talking about this person who is looking for this outcome, and we think this will have this business impact. As soon as you are at this point with your stakeholder, then you can reverse that. So I call this reversed impact mapping. So impact mapping is a great method I didn't come up with. It's Goiko, amazing guy, wrote an amazing book about that. Read that. Gives you more depth on like this whole impact mapping. There's more to it, which I won't discuss today. And I reversed this method. I'm also not the first one who is reversing that. There are other people who did the same. Also, Goiko mentioned this like in a few words in his book. Doesn't matter. This is like how I approach it as a conversational hack. So then you have like, okay, we are looking for this business impact. This is like the most important thing for us, right? It's the business impact. When a specific person or a specific segment, person group, persona, however you want to call it, is getting something towards their target, this can describe this like just what they get. This can be described as a jobs to be done, whatever. Again, really agnostic how you talk internally. And we think this will be achieved by your feature request, by your great idea. This is the model to agree to. And then your stakeholder is like, yeah, exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, can you now deliver that? And you'll be like, yeah, let's see. So now we have brought this together. Your stakeholder and your outcome are on the same page. And with that, you can start to hack around there. Because if you both agree on the same outcome, then you can be like, okay, let me think a little bit like about the idea. Let me discuss this with your team. And then you can come up with like several other solutions. What are other features, approaches, whatever. And then you can come back like in a day or something like that and be, oh, I have this other idea. Or even better, you did a little bit of discovery and bring like actual evidence. So you tested something simple. You have an easy idea and be like, okay, remember like 2 days ago, we talked about this outcome. You're looking for this outcome. I have this small experiment, and I already heard from 2 people that this is like looking good, that this looks like a solution. And with that, you're like a little bit out. Of course, like still this idea from them is there, but you agreed that they're looking for this outcome. And in the end, if this outcome is delivering this business impact, nobody will start to ask then, oh, can we do like this complicated thing? No, you can then get like easier things. Then you can also really like play out your product muscle, because you probably have like a couple of other ideas and a couple of other approaches. Hopefully you know the customer better. Hopefully you know better with your technical team what's possible, and you can present other options. That's the whole goal, to go into discovery, to have other options, to focus the conversation away from the output towards the outcome and the business impact. So short, like again, there's always like, I have an idea. I want to fix this. I know that. Perfect. Who will love this? First question, like talk about the actor. Who is there? Second, the outcome. What's the product outcome? What do the people, our customers, our users, what do they want to achieve? What does your stakeholder have in mind? Their problem is, what behavior change are we looking for? And then what is there for us, the business? That's the model. Simple, easy to like think. If this sounded helpful for you, as I said, like shameless plug here, I work as a trainer, as a coach. I do these things, I implement this in like how companies are working, also go deeper into strategy, which is my answer to prioritization. Also, I don't like prioritization frameworks. I love strategy discussions. Yeah, get connected, reach out. And I think with that, we're going into questions and answers. Hopefully there are many. And I think, Javier, you already prepared some.
Yes. So yeah, let's go to the questions that people asked during the registration process. I will be reading a couple of them, and then if we have more time, we can answer them. Otherwise, we can move to the practical event that will be in 5 minutes. But I think we can still answer 2 or 3 of them.
Cool.
So first question is, what do you think are the most important mindset changes product teams needs to make to truly focus on outcomes rather than outputs?
Yeah. So as you probably got from my talk, I'm not the biggest fan of being, or there has to be a mindset change. There has to be like, I have to just explain it better to the other person that we should talk about the problem. I think like going through this model helps a lot. Going through that in a way that you be like, okay, what do they have in mind? Because they are not, you don't work with stupid people, right? Usually.
Mhm.
They don't wake up in the morning and be like, oh, today I will annoy Christoph and I will ask him about this feature. I know already they have like some story there.
Mhm.
That's the first thing. And then also bring like the context to that. So also bring for them like what you know about the customers, what you know about the users. Because in the end, it's also the trust building thing.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I see teams who are just like get feature after feature request because
Mhm.
people don't trust them. People don't believe that they have like a better idea that they have about the customer and also about what they're delivering. So if you can show that you can actually have real impact and be like,
Mhm.
okay, I see that when we do this thing, our customers are enabled to do a specific action, and this will bring us some business impact. And you can actually do that, not just talk about it and
Mhm.
be like, yeah, I think we will make a shit ton of money, but actually showing results. And this is like hard oftentimes, I know, but
Mhm.
actually building up this trust. And this is like part of the solution, what I talked today about, to be able to reason through like, okay, what's the problem? What's the business impact? And so on. I think that's helpful. So it's more, I wouldn't say it's like a mindset shift. It's like a lot of trust. It's a lot of like how we work together. Um, and yeah, believing together, what also getting like clear on how to, what's the target So
Mhm. Yeah, you mentioned it several times during the talk. We are working for a business, so talk their language, right?
yes,
Um,
yes,
I,
you're
I
so
I
right.
think I think that's key, and sometimes we forget that we are all only talking about the problem from a very product perspective, while sales, customer support, even the C level, they speak other language. So
Yes,
try to translate that
yes,
into something that they
yes,
can
and not
understand.
just like the business money stuff, but also things like regulation, like understand what
Yeah.
constraints there are and things like that. So
Hmm.
like
And
understand where the people are coming from. Maybe the feature request comes from your like in-house lawyer because of a
hmm.
regulation thing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, what is the actual law? What are we trying to achieve?
Hmm. Yeah, things that maybe, yeah, we brought people care about, but people that is going to sell that, maybe they care even more, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day they are the face of the company, right? um, let's move maybe to the next question that I think is interesting, is how do you handle discovery and experimentation when flexibility is limited? I think this is quite real.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit the question. What part of discovery is like the hard thing? Because I worked a lot in like med tech and ad tech and a lot of like heavily crazy or finance heavily crazy regulated industries. And the whole point of product discovery is to not launch risky stuff, right?
Mhm,
So the question is like, is the hurdle getting to like customers to test stuff? That sometimes is the case in this environment because you can't like just walk out on the street like on a B2 on a popular B2C product and ask people. Oftentimes there's like some like development partners or something like that. Um, and also get best friends with your sales teams, with your customer success teams, with like the people who are actually interacting on a day-to-day basis with customers and with
mhm,
users, and then like get through them. So build the trust up with them that you can like in the beginning sit just in a conversation with sales, for example, just be like the I won't say anything, and then like after you can maybe ask one question and so on and so on. So you go slowly into a trust building exercise with your internal partners to be able to then test things, validate things. And in the beginning, it might be just a couple of questions. Then maybe you can prototype stuff and so on and so on. Um, Oftentimes, like especially in B2B and in complicated stuff, clients love the stuff. So if you go into to a doctor or something like that, and they are like open and are maybe a customer or a prospect, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I have like something really new, exciting, and I think you are the super trusted person. We want to like get your expertise for that. They're usually open because they love that they're seen as the expert. So
okay. Yeah.
and
um,
yeah, if this question, like if there's, it's a big question. So if there's a
for
small detail, just reach out to me
for
on
sure,
LinkedIn.
I think we can talk, I mean, we can do a talk only about
Exactly, exactly.
this
Yeah.
this topic.
But I'm happy to discuss this more with more specifics.
So maybe before we wrap up,
Yeah.
someone asked a useful question, that is about your favorite tool for doing
Ah,
discovery and all this kind of stuff.
my favorite tool to do discovery.
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know, like questions. So I I'm a big believer in that 90% of discovery is like not a click dummy or not a proto, like not what we understand often as like a click or a live data prototype or whatever, but like questions, really small experiments where we demonstrate something. I love the um, Testing Business Ideas, I think is the book called from Strategizer, which
Hmm.
is like a collection of prototyping tools. And there's so many prototyping tools, and I see with teams I work with, like oftentimes everything is a click dummy for them, where everything is like a certain prototype. So I love the variety. I wouldn't say like there's one tool in the
Okay.
product discovery.
Uh, and have you used AI for this process? Like,
I'm
is
playing a
there?
little I'm playing a little bit around with it. I think it's like very helpful, for example, to do like if you have interview guidelines and stuff like that,
Mhm,
to test this a little bit before and to be like, okay, what I'm missing, and is there a leading question in there, and to like validate a little bit like you would do with like a researcher or something like that. So that's quite helpful.
mhm,
And also coming up with experiments. Like it, the nice thing about AI for me is that it's working as a sparring partner, and it's like an endless stream of options. So I can always be like, okay, give me 5 more, give me 10 more, and just
mhm.
to get my own creativity flowing.
Cool. Yeah. I think for the ideation is super interesting, like, because AI is quite creative, right? We can say, and also for interviews, summarizing the insights, and
Yeah,
identifying
exactly.
patterns is also very, very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. With patterns, I'm like, it's good to use that, but
But not only.
I always find there's stuff missing, stuff misinterpreted, and so on and so on. So you have to double check, and then
Yeah, it
then
tells
it's
you
already
the
sometimes it's
average.
already the question, is it like speeding you up, or is it just like you're having double the work because you're doing it anyways manually, because you have to make sure. It depends on like the amount and the questions and so on. But
Yeah. So I think we can move to the practical session.
cool.
I will put in LinkedIn the link, so if someone else wants to join, I will put it there. But yeah, we let's move to
Yeah,
the other session where we'll do breakout rooms, as I said, and we'll do this exercise of mapping what Christoph showed you today. So
cool.
see you now.
See you there.